A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. On day 1171 of the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, tensions have reached a boiling point as Ukraine reported a staggering 734 attacks despite Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent announcement of a 3-day ceasefire. The situation escalated further following a phone call between former U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, during which Trump called for a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. Trump emphasized that if the ceasefire is not respected, the U.S. and its partners would impose additional sanctions on Russia. Zelensky responded affirmatively, stating that Ukraine is open to discussions regarding the war, but insisted that Russia must demonstrate its commitment to ending hostilities by initiating a full and unconditional ceasefire. The call, which reportedly lasted about 20 minutes, was described as going very well by a senior Ukrainian official. Key topics included the ongoing diplomatic efforts for a genuine ceasefire and the ratification of a Ukraine-US minerals deal by the Ukrainian parliament. However, the reality on the ground tells a different story. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha condemned Putin's self-declared ceasefire as a farce, citing that within the first 12 hours, Russian forces had violated the ceasefire agreement 734 times. In the early hours of the ceasefire, Russian bombings continued to wreak havoc in northeastern Ukraine, resulting in at least one civilian casualty. Ukrainian officials reported artillery assaults along the extensive 1,000 kilometers front line, albeit with reduced intensity compared to previous days. Russian forces launched 63 assaults throughout the region, particularly near Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk area. Although large-scale missile and drone attacks seemed to have diminished temporarily, reports indicated that a missile was fired in the Poltava region, causing damage to residential roofs as air defenses intercepted it. The Russian Defense Ministry countered by accusing Ukrainian forces of attacking its positions and vowed to mirror Ukraine's actions during the Kremlin's ceasefire. Additionally, drone alerts were issued in several Russian regions, including Belgorod and Lipetsk, although no interceptions were reported. Amidst the chaos, a Ukrainian drone unit reported that a Russian infantry raiding party attempted to advance but was thwarted by drone surveillance. One soldier, who identified himself as Mika, noted, "The infantry are still coming," while another, Nazar, stated that 3 strikes had occurred in his section since the ceasefire began, asserting, "The facts speak for themselves." In a related development, Germany's new Chancellor Friedrich Merz spoke with Trump, who expressed support for European diplomatic efforts aimed at resolving the conflict. Merz reaffirmed Germany's commitment to assisting Ukraine, including the possibility of supplying Taurus cruise missiles, a move previously rejected by former Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom has intensified its sanctions against Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers, with Prime Minister Keir Starmer announcing measures targeting up to 100 tankers that have transported over $24 billion worth of cargo since the start of 2024. These vessels have also been implicated in damaging critical subsea cables in Europe. Starmer is set to attend a meeting in Oslo with the Joint Expeditionary Force, JEF, where discussions will focus on Ukraine and Arctic security. The British-led military alliance, comprising Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, the Netherlands, Sweden, and the UK, is expected to announce further support for Ukraine's armed forces, including enhanced training exercises and initiatives to combat disinformation. As the world watches, Trump's call for a ceasefire underscores the urgency for immediate action to halt the fighting, contrasting with the views of his vice president, J.D. Vance, who suggested a shift away from a short-term ceasefire towards a long-term resolution. With Putin showing no willingness to engage directly with Zelensky, the prospect of peace remains uncertain. The conflict continues to claim lives and devastate communities, as both sides prepare for what could be a prolonged and bloody struggle. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.